Hi, I'm Shorty and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Shorty Skate Series. Today I'm going to go over how to air to fakie. Okay, so the first thing that I want to explain is depending on where you're going to air on the ramp, whether it's low in the transition or over coping, will determine whether you need to push hard off the ramp, so jump off the ramp, versus if you just need to lift your knees to your chest to give the illusion of jumping off the ramp.
When on flat ground, you use your legs like springs to compress and push off the ground to jump. When airing low in the transition, the feeling is the same. And to give the illusion of more height, you can lift your knees towards your chest, which is the same for when you're jumping low in the transition. Now the tricky part comes in when you start to air higher on the transition. As you skate more vertically up the ramp, airing to fakie will be more about having the momentum and lifting your knees to your chest rather than pushing off the ramp. If you look to push or jump high on the transition, you'll end up pushing yourself away from the ramp and land a lot further down the ramp or even at the bottom. So focusing on your knees to your chest instead of jumping or pushing yourself away from the ramp is key to when you're trying to air over coping. The first step is to get comfortable pumping the transition you want to air to fakie in. Knowing how to pump correctly will give you that pause moment before you change direction, especially if you're looking to pose or grab in the air. You'll notice I like to start my pump a couple of meters before the start of the ramp. If you want to air to fakie high over the coping, practicing to air out will help you get the height. I have a tutorial on this skill which I'll link below. The next step is releasing your skates from the ramp. At first, I like to practice lifting my knees a little to get used to the height. Depending on the size of the ramp, I will decide if I need to push off the ramp or just lift my knees to my chest. If you're on a smaller ramp, you can use a toe stop to help you boost yourself upwards. But the key is you want to boost your body's momentum straight up and not back, as you will push yourself off the ramp. This is why you shouldn't boost off your toe stops on bigger or vert ramps, because if you push yourself away from the ramp, you have a long distance to fall and it's quite dangerous. Also, as you pump up the ramp, you want to keep a slight bend in your knees as it keeps your body closer to the ramp and makes it easier to air. Once you get used to the timing, I'll lift my knees more to my chest to make it look like I'm getting more height. Also, don't forget to use your core muscles, as a common mistake is to drop your chest when landing, which causes you off balance and you may put down a toe stop. Now to air over coping, you need a lot of momentum to get the height and hang time, so speed and pumping hard into the transition will be your friend. As you approach the transition, pump hard and keep your knees slightly bent. I like to think about the ramp having a vertical plane above the coping, and as I'm about to reach the coping, my skates release from the ramp and I bring my knees towards my chest. Because I feel more stable in a staggered position, my front foot will release from the ramp first and travel past the coping before my second foot. Sometimes my second foot will roll off the front wheels last, but I'm not looking to push off the ramp. Rather, if I have too much speed or power, I can pivot off my front wheels, as it helps me guide my momentum upwards rather than out onto the deck. So a few common issues I had when practicing air to fakie were jumping too early. If you have the habit of jumping too early, I suggest working on pumping the transition and taking note of the apex of your momentum. The point at which you extend your body to pump back down is the moment where you would release your skates. But remember, in the case of airing, you want to stay in a squatted position because jumping with straight legs can cause you to push yourself away from the ramp. Jumping through my toes because I relied on my toe stops for height. So this requires more energy and is likely to throw you off balance and away from the ramp. It also makes it harder to grab. I suggest taking a step back and focusing on pumping through your heels and working on the technique of lifting your knees towards your chest. Not engaging my core and dropping my chest. This was the main cause for me landing on my toe stops and not rolling out clean. So practicing to keep my upper body still by engaging my core and also thinking about keeping my chest up and not looking at my skates helped me to land air to fakies by rolling out rather than using my toe stops. Once you're confident with airing to fakie over coping, then you can have some fun with grabs. I find adding grabs also helps you to keep your core engaged and body still, as you have less of the flailing arms, which can cause you off balance. So I hope you're able to take a couple things away from this video that will help you with your airs to fakies. If you have any questions, please comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also tag me on Instagram shortstop.6 as I'd love to see your progress. Thank you for watching and please like and share this video if you found it helpful. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more skating tips and tricks.